All right, I think we are live. Yes, indeed, we are. Oh my goodness, and my throat is all crazy now. Oh my goodness, welcome everyone. It is Monday. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Odum, and together we come together on YouTube on this live stream because every day, Monday through Friday, we work towards trying to build a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. That's our goal. We're working towards that. And again, last year we got 10% there. This year, we're going to try to get 25% there and make $250,000 in revenue this year, which sounds like a lot of money, which it is. I've never made anywhere near that much money, but hopefully this year we can do it. So one of the things that I wanted to get started with today before we just jump right back into doing our wireframing in Figma is I just want to talk to you about this Propelled network. So I actually got into this program, and the first class was today at lunchtime. Kevin, how you doing? Welcome. Hope you had a great weekend. Ready to start off the week right. So I got into this program. So I did the first part of it, which was, I think it was called, what the hell are they called? Right. So they're like these accelerator programs, blah, blah, blah. Right. So last year I did the Vision program. So this one that I just started today is called the Validation program. And it's a 12-week incubator where you're paired one-on-one with a coach. And the idea is to grow your business up to, from what they said, to the idea of where you're kind of validating your idea to get to the place where you're making $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So, there kind of says so right here, this $1,000, blah, 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 in revenue. So I think it's going to be interesting. I don't have much to say about it right now because obviously I just got off the first initial kind of kickoff meeting with, 20 or so other startups. But it's going to be interesting because this is kind of exactly the stage that Pixel Pieces is right now. Is we just kind of launched, kind of the soft launch, and there's a few people that signed up for testing. And Kevin, I know Kevin, you're one of them. And then the idea is to communicate and interact, at least for me anyways, to communicate and interact with the customers and the people that are using the software right now to try to validate, to make sure that everything is on the right course to be able to create a product that, is going to be able to make us the kind of money that we want to make. Right. So it's interesting. So we'll see how things go. And I'm sure as I move forward in this course, which is pretty intense from what they say, they want you to put in between 10 and 15 hours of work a week, which actually shouldn't be that hard because I'm working on the business anyways. But yeah, I don't know. It's it'll be interesting. And the one thing that they said, which was actually pretty interesting, was at the end where they said, put your ego aside and, we're here to try to test your assumptions and test your just kind of what your thinking is to try to get you into the right path to create something that is actually going to work. And I really love that because I'm someone that always says, tell me the truth straight up. Tell me like it is, so that I can see, the ways in my thinking that I'm wrong and things that I could do better, things that I can do right. Because that's how growth happens. You have to be, you don't want to be in an environment where everyone is just telling you yes and everything is perfect and it's fine the way it is. You need people to just be a straight shooter and tell you what's going on, to make sure that, that you can grow and learn. So anyways, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll talk more about that. But anyways, let's get into this wireframing that we were doing starting on Friday. And I didn't get to do too much work since we left on Friday, which was unfortunate. But here we are. So one thing that I did take off is I had places where I actually had text in here, but I just want to keep everything into just shapes, basically, except for maybe the buttons or whatever. It's just so we can get a feel for how the information is going to flow and how the users are going to flow through the actual application. And then we'll worry about the text when we actually build out the template in Webflow. I think. Yeah, anyways, doesn't really matter. I guess the thing too is these little pieces I could probably use for other different wireframes as well as we move forward. Okay, so let's get back into our Photoshop here. Here's our initial sketch that we did for all the, let's hide that. Again, this is so cringe. All the different things that we want on the homepage. All right, CMS items. We got the blog, video, and audio. Right. So let's make a section for video and audio next. So let's go into here. And again, do forgive me with my Figma skills because they are lacking. So let's go into here and maybe let's just, no, not that way. Stretch out this canvas a little more. Okay, so what do we have? We have our header section, we have our hero section, we have our blog section. We want to create a new section. There's got to be a keyframe to create a new section. Shift S. No, that's not what I want. Or start a new section. It's new group. How do you create a new group? Or maybe you can't, because you have to create something first. Strange. Okay. Well, let's, what did I do? Okay, let's copy and paste this. And let's put this new frame. No, I guess what I'm thinking is to create one of these new, like a groups, because you go here, you go Control G, and that creates a new group. So I want to create a new group without actually having something to group in. I don't know, maybe you can't do that. I guess it's like creating a folder. That's kind of how I think of it. Maybe that's the wrong way to think about it. Like this group of layers here. Okay, right. Let's move down. And this will just be a from the podcast section. So we'll start with the audio. So we'll just talk podcast. So in this one, how do we want to lay this one out? We want to lay this out. We don't want to just create the same thing. We want to have a little bit of differentiation between each of these things. And I think when someone is going to be building this, they can choose which type of content they want to have in these sections, because they'll all be driven by a collection. So, I mean, I like the idea of having like a featured section. This one doesn't have a featured section, so maybe it should as well. Anyways, let's think about this. Okay. Actually, we don't need to think about something. Let's just do it. Okay. What is rectangle? Whoops, what did I do? Okay. 1140. So let's make this one 1140 by it's almost pretty good right there. So what I'm thinking here is when you embed a podcast player, like I know for me, I use Simplecast. So there's like a little, there's a big like SoundCloud thing. It's a little embed thing that has the player and has all the, the waveforms and whatever. So this could be like the featured podcast, right? So, and we'll call this featured podcast. And I should probably learn about how to properly name these layers, because that'll get transposed, I would imagine, when you go from Figma to Webflow. And they probably use the same nomenclature, or they probably put like dashes or something in between. So I should probably figure that out. Okay. So let's create now. I don't want to get too fancy with this thing here, but this is just, again, just very simple stuff. And like I said before, I think I said this on Friday, I could just get actual components or like a UI kit for making components, or for making wireframes. But I want to learn some Figma chops. I should have some Figma chops. So I'm taking it as a learning opportunity, I guess you can say. Not opportunity, but a chance to learn. And practice. Maybe that's the right word. A practice opportunity. Okay. There's a play button. Oh, that is really light. I can't see that. So play buttons are usually red, right? We want I keep things muted. This is not a design thing. Okay. Put that in a group. And that is a play button. And then just a little decorative piece here that just kind of shows, oh, that's ugly. No, that's not what I want. Just a rectangle with rounded borders. Maybe, let's just say 40. Let's go with 900. Maybe even a little more. There we go. Something like this. Let's round the corners all the way. Oops. All right. So that's just your whatever featured podcast. Could be. I'll move this over a little bit. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's good enough. So we have our featured podcast. And we're actually going to call this featured podcast. And then we are going to rename this whatever, background. So my goal is to finish this today or tonight, or even tomorrow morning. So then tomorrow we can actually move on and get into actual Webflow stuff, which I think would be really good. And then we could start to create the template, and then from the template, which will be, still unsure of how much we need to design the template. Probably quite a bit, because we want it to work outside the box. Yeah. So yeah, we'll start designing this thing. Okay. So from the podcast, featured podcast. Would you ever make templates for Webflow Marketplace as a way to earn more and raise awareness? I know naming is very strict, but may be easy enough to rebuild one day. So that's a good question. I mean, I'm hopeful that these templates that I make, I am going to be able to put them on the marketplace, because my idea is to, let me just bring this up here. So as I'm talking, I could kind of talk myself through this, because, I'm just trying to figure this out at the same point, at the same time. Okay, let's log out. So, right, it's not here. But the idea is there's going to be the pricing. It's going to be, actually, we should go here. Templates. There's no templates. Crap. Okay, pretend these are templates. And the idea would be that there'll be a buy now button, so you can buy the individual template. And when you click on this button, it'll take you to Webflow, and then you could buy the individual template on there. But then the other button will be join now. And then when you click the join now, then it'll be access all the templates. And the way that I see it working is that when you become a member of Pixel Pieces and you join for the full whatever membership, that I'll get a notification, and this is going to probably have to be done manually right now, is I'll get your email address, which is to your Webflow account, and I will manually add and transfer each single template that we currently have to your account. So you'll have access to all the templates right away. So there's two ways to buy our templates. One would be through the actual marketplace on Webflow, and the other one would be to just join Pixel Pieces, and then you just get access to all of them. And then that's a little bit of a manual process, and we can figure out how to automate that maybe sometime in the future. So that's the idea. So, and I do know that, yes, they do have requirements for naming, because they want like letter case or whatever, like capital case or whatever it is. But I don't know how strict they are with enforcing that. So that's a really good question to find out, because I've seen some templates on there that aren't like that. Hey, sorry. Is it Halal? Sorry if I can't pronounce your name correctly. My apologies. But very nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. So it's a good question. So let's just see something. Let's just see if we can see a few things, and we could look at the code very, very quickly. So would that work on people on a free plan who can only have 2 projects in their account? So I don't think, for me, for Pixel Pieces, I don't think we're going to have a free plan. I don't think, because it seems like it's too much stuff to try to juggle. Just because, yeah, that's my thoughts originally. Like there'll be, when you sign up, I think you get 3 days free or 7 days free or something like that. And I don't know how that's going to work with the templates. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, so you meant for transferring your templates. So when you transfer your templates, so you mean if people on a free plan, how they get access to the templates? If that's the question that you're asking, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. If there's going to be a limit or whatever. Okay, sorry. I think I see. Okay, I got you. I got you. So if someone is on the free plan on Webflow, how they get access to the templates? Well, I think the free plan, if I'm not mistaken, you are limited to 2, what is it called? You're limited to actual projects that are only that you actually publish somewhere. So you can have unlimited unpublished sites, but the second you publish, even to like the Webflow domain, then that counts as your 1 of 2. I think anyways, but that's actually a really interesting point to consider. That's a very interesting point. We gotta write that down. We gotta investigate that. Did I say transfer? Yeah. So like just how you transfer a website, you can transfer a website to another account. So, if I have your email address, I could literally just transfer you a site to your account. But what that means is that I have to go into my Webflow, and then I have to, then I just have to hit transfer the account, add the email, and then transfer, and then you get it. So, yeah, so I'd have to do that for each template for every new customer. But I mean, it doesn't take that long. If I have 12 templates and somebody signs up, it's going to take like 10 minutes to do, right? So it's not a lot of time for a new customer. So, but there's going to be a lot of upkeep. Like every time there's a new template or there's a change is made, then how do we get those changes to the customers as well? So yeah, there's logistic things to definitely that we need to figure out. But yeah, let's take a look at this marketplace here. So I got to write this down. How to transfer to people on a free account. I will say though, it would be interesting to see how many people who would actually want to pay the price for getting access to components and templates so that they can build websites, and they're just on a free account. But I guess that's the free account is not the same as the actual plan of the site, right? It's like how many different projects you can have in your account. So, yeah, that's going to be a very interesting question. So I do think, okay, anyways, let's do one thing at a time here. Let's take a look at this marketplace. What do we want to look at? Templates. So let's just pick, can we just pick one? How do I, okay. So let's go to like an expensive template. Can we sort by price here? We can't sort by anything. Okay, this one's $79. Let's just have a quick look. Let's preview in Designer. Okay, so right. So these guys are following the proper CSS naming conventions for their templates. Okay. But this is the thing too, is I know the guys at FinSuite have been on like live streams and whatever with people from Webflow, and they work very closely together. And I don't know if Webflow specifically promotes client first, but a lot of people are using it. So it is really something interesting to think about, because I do remember looking at client first and being like, this doesn't fit the Webflow standards. So that could be a problem if you want to sell stuff on their marketplace. But let's see. These ones are also following it. Okay, interesting. So yeah, you're saying with libraries you can use your own naming convention. Yeah, of course, it's just you can do whatever you want. Yeah, but a template in their marketplace. But that being said, you could still use. You can't even really. You could use client first principles, but you can't actually use client first even in terms of their naming conventions for like using their folders, for example, which is super huge. So okay, this is actually something to really think about here. Yeah, this is all shit. This is all. Yeah, okay. So I think with the templates that I want to have, I'm pretty sure that I want to have them available in the marketplace. Or it could be a thing too. It could be a thing too where I only sell templates through the marketplace, but obviously promote them on Pixel Pieces. And then the membership platform is more for just the components. So then the components could still be utilized in client first, which would probably be more in tune with the people that would want to buy components anyways, are people that are just building websites for other people. So they're probably going to use a framework anyways. I mean, generally speaking here, just spitballing out of my head, tell me if I'm wrong in this thought process. And then for people that just want a website, then they could just get a template. But then it's really annoying to think about maintaining two different sets of products using different frameworks for both of them. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to look at two more templates. Let's look at some cheap ones. Not cheap that I think that they're cheaply made. I'm just saying, let's look at this more expensive one, $129. And let's look at this one. Yeah. Yeah, 100% right here. Actually, I could just go look at stuff here. Yeah, that's using whatever it's called for, their proper naming conventions. Here as well, too. Interesting. Yeah, people are starting to use these variables, which is really kind of cool. Ooh. A variable within a variable? Ah, that is cool. Okay, so that's looking like that's what it is there, Kevin. So yeah, something to definitely think about. Did I preview this one? Oh yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Yeah, and that makes sense for them, for Webflow, to keep their marketplace consistent. So I get it. I get that. So that makes sense. Brent, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'd see the Mast framework focus templates / library doing well. Loads of people shift from client first to Mast. So Mast, I think, is the one that I was actually looking at this weekend. Mast, yeah. As I can see there. Yeah, I was definitely looking at this. Yeah, I was actually really looking at this over the weekend. Right. So you've been using it yourself and loving it. So the thing is too, though, if you're using this framework and you want to make actual templates, because these guys, again, they're using lowercase and dashes, which is not what is going to fly for Webflow templates, right? Because you got to use spacing. But so masked framework focused templates. So do they have templates then that are built? So do they have templates that are built using this framework that are for sale in the marketplace? Because I'd love to see it. So let's just take a look here. So I don't know if this is a template which you can buy. And yeah, so I can see this. Yeah, this is using, yeah, styles visual. Yeah. So sorry, see if I can make this a little bit bigger here. Yeah, so none of them are for sale. Yeah, so that's an issue, I think, if we want to use this framework to build templates, which are going to be available for sale on the Webflow marketplace. Only a couple examples on their site as well as Webflow clonables. So these ones right here, like these are just preview sites. Oh, and here's the style guide. Let's open up this guide here. Let's see, let's have a quick look. Here's the actual styles. Element and class. Yeah, they only go to the H4, which is fine. 1.25. Yeah, I was starting to use that as well too. Eyebrow. Eyebrow. Not sure what that means. Anyways. So what does the U stand for? I think, is that, what is it? Use like a modifier or, I totally can't remember now. This is presented very well. Utility. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, of course. Utility class. And then I think there's, like combo class as well. Yeah. This is very similar to what I wanted to do, except I don't have the utility / this. I wonder, this is me thinking, and this is horrible. Yeah. I'm thinking of like, okay, well, let's combine these frameworks and build a framework that's very similar to both of these things, but that's in a way that's compatible with developing templates in the Webflow. What the hell am I saying? Develop Webflow templates in the marketplace. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know if it makes sense to build something like that. And it's not even building, because it's actually, it's very simple. Like to come up with something like this, it's just like a series of best practices to do with how you name your CSS. So it's not like this is groundbreaking stuff or difficult to come up with your own. But of course, it's difficult to come up with something that people are going to want to adopt and use, right? Yeah. So, whoa. So Lumos from Timothy, maybe. Timothy, is that somebody that does content on Webflow content? So I'm not sure who that is. Timothy Ricks. Okay, I'll make note of researching this person. All right, definitely look into that. The Webflow father. So I should know who this person is then, shouldn't I? Or maybe I know him by face, but not by name. All right. Well, thanks, Brent. Appreciate that. Appreciate those comments. Kevin, you could try to keep templates in your naming convention on your site, then have people request access to them using some automation with Airtable to send a share link to users if they sign up with us. So definitely we could. I think there definitely is a lot of merit to automating the process on the user end. So say that you log into Pixel Pieces and you want this template, you just click a button, say, get me access or give me access. The problem that I find from that is from the user experience side of it, is that if I was a user and I pay to get a service, I don't want to have to click a button and wait for them to manually add me or whatever it is to give me access to it, because I might just want to just try it out right away and I paid for these templates, I just want to use them. So that's where, from that experience, I think that'll be a worse user experience. It might be better for me because there'll be less work because I only have to deal with stuff as they come in. But I think for the user, I don't think that's a great experience. Can this be automated in a way? I don't know if Webflow would have access to the API to be able to do that kind of thing. So you can manually make invites, or you could duplicate a project and then you could share that project and send it to somebody automatically. That would be really cool if their API would allow you to do that. But I would have a feeling that you can't, because I don't think I would want to release that to the public. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts on that. And the naming convention, that's a whole another thing to think about. Should definitely recognize me. Yeah, I'll definitely check him out. Yeah, man. Appreciate. Yeah, I'm glad you found the channel. I'm glad to have you here, and I appreciate you stopping in. And yeah, I won't stop the grinding. I mean, actually, I think it's January 18th, is going to be the 1-year anniversary of live streaming every day, every Monday through Friday, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, definitely going to keep it up. I'm going to get to $1 million, or die trying, I guess. So yeah, definitely welcome. We've got to do something for the 1-year anniversary, or maybe just get back to work. I don't know. But yeah, glad you found the channel as well too. I was thinking you save the share link in Airtable. Oh, I see what you mean. Right. So, sorry, I'm not posting that comment. So the link itself is an Airtable, but the thing about when you have a template, it's not just sharing. You actually have to transfer it to somebody to give them access, because in order for you to be able to have it, right? So it's not just sharing, it's transferring. So that's kind of the problem. Hey. Okay. Right.
He seems to be okay now, but just so you're aware.
Okay.
He's at the point where he's crying inside, so I think we're okay.
Yeah. Does he know to come get me if there's?
He's going to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's he working on right now?
Just some work for me, and then
Okay.
he's gonna do his workout stuff you told him to do.
Yeah.
And keep track of it. So I told him he could do that. He just keep track. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. All right. Have fun. You'll be a couple hours?
Oh no. The appointment's at 3, and it's just a big.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, take your time. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that, guys. The family never stops, which is all good. Right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So I'm not talking out my ass. Perfect. Yeah. 24-hour stream to celebrate the 1 year. Yeah. Okay. You first. That would be insane. A 24-hour stream. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm sure people have done that to stream, but I don't think I have enough of a user base to justify being on stream for 24 hours. But that would be kind of cool, though. That actually start giving me these ideas, because that's like challenge accepted. Tell me 48 hours. Screw your 24. Anyways, 24, like, what is it? Jack Bauer there, the show 24. I love that show. That was awesome. Anyways, yeah. So using Zapier with your main Webflow account, matching username with emails with your system, then automate the process. So the thing is, within Zapier right now, there is no way to automate the process of transferring a site. We don't have those triggers, which is what I was saying. I don't think Webflow has made those things available in their API. So no, I don't think that'll work. But don't quote me on that because I'm definitely not an API expert. But just from what I've seen, I know for sure you can't do it in Zapier. Could you do it in Make? Again, Make has more, like with a webhook. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe that'll be the best answer. But just using the standard triggers that Zapier has, you won't be able to do it. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. Almost positive. Let's log in here. So let's go. Where do we want to go into? Whatever. Let's go into pixel pieces. So let's just, if we want to create a new Zap. So like we'll just look here in Webflow. Actually, what were we saying? So basically, we want to be able to trigger. Actually, is the action is going to be, actually it's going to be the action. The action is going to be Webflow because the trigger is going to be like a new account or whatever, right? So if we just look at what we can do for our actions, we can create item, fulfill order, refund order, update an item, API. Ooh, API request beta. So I wonder what this is. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I highly doubt it. But if I could be proven wrong, I'm gonna look into it and see what I can come up with. But where's the Webflow API? Okay, I'm supposed to be doing this wireframe stuff. But anyways, this is always interesting too. Okay. Oh, forms, pages, sites, user accounts. What can you do here with user accounts? Get a list of user sites. Okay, well, sure. Update user. Update user by ID. Access group the user belongs to. Okay, that's not quite there because I think that's just going to access the users that are actually part of. Sorry, let me zoom in on this thing. I think that's just going to access the users that are part of, like, your account. Authorization info. No. Order settings. Access groups? Probably not. I don't see, does anything here stand out to any of you guys? I don't think so. Nothing's standing out to me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But it would be certainly cool if we did. But again, too, at the start, this is my whole thought process. And I remember listening to the guys from, I don't know if you guys read Rework or any of the other stuff that the guys who invented Basecamp, the 37 Signals guys, and they invented, what did they come up with? Ruby on Rails. So they wrote their book Rework. And one of the things they talked about when they launched their first product, they're saying something along the lines of, we didn't even have a way for users to pay us yet, but we just launched it anyways because it was a 30-day free trial. So it's like you just launch, and then as you go, then you could fix and you can iterate, and then you could make it better. So my thought process is, okay, I might not have the whole thing figured out in terms of how to share all the templates or whatever, but let's just get it out there and do it manually for now. And then once we get traction or whatever, then we can figure out how to automate this whole process. Because again, it's not like I have 100 people clamoring down the door right now needing to have access to all the templates. So I think we can figure it out as we go along. That's what my hope is. And then once I figure out, then you guys can just copy. And then build your own stuff. Build your own template libraries. And we'll all have template libraries. And we'll all make millions of dollars. And then we'll be millionaires together, which will be awesome. Okay. Right. What are we doing? Wireframing. Wireframing. Okay. So podcasts. Right. Okay. We're laying out podcasts. Okay. Get into the mindset here. So we're going to want to have, I think we'll do it like a 2-column layout. Again, these aren't really to any really good scale here. I probably should think about that a little bit. Whoop, what just happened? Not 20, 200. So this would just be, whatever featured image is for this podcast. And let's copy this title. Yeah. Right. So that would be the title of the podcast. And actually, I think we should have some metadata. Let's throw some of that down here. Okay. I gotta learn all the shortcut keys for lining things up and making everything aligned properly. Because I think here you might have details on the author, like how long it is, category. Let's just throw another one. And then I think for this one, we'll just throw in our button here. And just like listen now. There we go. So podcast post title. And then the button. Where's, this rectangle needs to go all the way down here. This is podcast featured image. Right, and this is here. Then the group, this is the podcast. I like post, I guess. And so all of these, what do we need to do? Okay, that aligns them nicely. Cool. And, oh, okay, that's aligning to, right, that's aligning to the whole canvas. So we want to align this to everything inside here. Okay, that makes sense. And then another one there. I don't know if you could hear that, but my stomach is going off. It's like grumbling crazy loud. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. If not, then, well, yes, I'm a little hungry. Let's make this, just make this a little bit bigger. It seems a little bit unbalanced. And then, oh. Okay, and we could throw in some titles and stuff like this as well too. What I mean by that is, because this is from the podcast, like this could be like featured, and then this is just something else, like the rest of them. Like this is like previous episodes. And then we do need, actually we do need some bigger buttons for like read all blog posts and view all podcast episodes. I think we need that as well. This is always so weird for me too, because again, usually when I'm designing something, it's just me, and I generally don't do wireframes. I always do them, I do them in my head, and I do them on paper, like pencil and paper. So if there's anything that you guys think that I'm missing or that I'm not doing correctly, definitely let me know. Because it's new for me for sharing these things in a format like this. Because generally when I'm working with clients as well too, I generally don't show them a bare bones wireframe like this. I have on occasion, it depends on the project and it depends on the client. But generally at this stage, I don't show them something like this. I usually take my illustrations that I do and I scan them, and then I walk through a presentation using those illustrations. And I generally bypass this specific step, and then I go to the design aspect because I just take it from my sketches. But sketches aren't very good for sharing. All right. So I think what we can do is we could make a larger button. Actually, it doesn't have to be that large, to be honest. Maybe we can give it a little bit more color here. And listen to all episodes. we go regular. Yeah. I do know there was another way to do a button or to do buttons, and I totally forget. Something to do with the layers flexing or something like that. Hey, Richard, welcome back. Good to see you. Same, you skip the wireframing stage for clients. Never understand the gray boxes on the page. Yeah. They'd rather have a medium with high quality design. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, you kind of have to gauge the client and see kind of where they're at and what knowledge they have, and also their interest as well too. The greatest clients for me, anyways, are the ones that are like, just shut up and give me the results. Like, I don't care about your stupid process. Just give me the results. And then you deliver the results and they're happy, then perfect. Those are like the greatest clients to work with. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. So text block and then Shift A to apply auto layout. Right. Right. Okay, that sounds very familiar. So, okay, so text block like this. So here's a text block. Shift A. Right. So now this text block, I can add a background color, right? Like a fill. Is it a fill? Or I think it's a fill. Right. Sweet. But then, so yes, I'm there. Okay, cool. So now the question is, I guess I could add padding to this. Where do I add padding? I guess would be here. No, that's not it. Don't tell me. Or tell me. I start screaming at the monitor. It's right there. Is it this thing? No, that's the constraints. What did I do? Padding and margins as well. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. Effects, export. That could be there. Where? Layout grid. No, this has got to be it. No? Shit. What am I doing here? I'm messing this up completely. I'll undo all that crap. Yeah, under auto layout sections. Right. Oh, is this it? Where you see the tens. Where you're in the right place with layouts with the other tens. Where you see the tens. Yeah. Oh, I was... okay. So I was just doing the wrong thing. Okay, of course. This little icon that says margins. Alignment. Oh, okay. Shit, yeah, that makes perfect sense. You'd think that I haven't been using Photoshop for the past 15 years. Although this is... Maybe to be fair, this is different. I don't know. Okay. Okay, I can't tell how good this is. Padding's wide. Okay, let's do I don't know, like a 2:3 ratio. That's fine for now. So yes, let's delete that. Now we got our other button. Let's call this like a section call to action. Yes, thanks for the help, guys. Sorry, that was probably super painful for you guys to see me trying to fumble around there. Okay. Right. Let's throw a different color there just for a second. It doesn't need to be in a group anymore, does it? Oh, see, I dragged this out of that group, and it just deleted the group. So I guess you can't have just an empty group. So I should probably stop thinking about it in terms of like layers here. Oh, I think about like folders, I guess. So maybe that is the right way to think about it. Blog, let's paste this in here and drag this down. And we'll just, read all blog posts. Oh yeah, this is so much nicer to have buttons, and you don't have to worry about the size and all that jazz. I should probably make this into a component, shouldn't I? Probably. All right. Oh, something's off. This is podcast sound wave. Featured podcast. Let's throw it in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So you align here. Okay. Let's try to get some spacing right here a little bit. Oh, hang on a second. I'm not feeling how this is working here from the podcast and the previous episodes. And I'm wondering how much I should worry about this at this stage of the game in terms of this wireframe. Well, we'll keep it in for now, but we'll reduce the font size. Okay. So I can kind of see on my head how this is going to work and how this is going to look. So that's not bad. Not a bad section. And now we want to make, what's the next thing that we want to do? We want to make video, right? So this one's a little bit different. So what I'm thinking about this is on the unconventional mindset on the membership site, there's going to be a section where it's going to be showing the latest videos. And those videos can be, I think each video is going to fit a specific what's the right word? Like a topic or a like a segment. Is that the right word? So for example, there's videos like there's a live stream video, but then there's maybe videos that are relegated to a specific group. It's almost like different playlists. So I guess what we can have is if there are different videos that are from different playlists or different themes, one could be just a complete completely different example where you can have a video series on tutorials and another video series on, lunchtime with the CEO, right? And then another one is video series on something completely different, right? So we don't want to create different sections for each one of those different types of videos, but I guess we want to have a layout where I guess we're going to be pulling from all the collections or just one. See, now I'm unsure. Sorry, it might sound like I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm just trying to think out loud here. I think for now, we'll just make a basic video display section. And then we could worry about modifying it if we need to for our specific use of this template. So, because the idea is to build this template that's going to be a generic template for people to be able to springboard and create their own membership website. And then we're going to take that template and use it to customize and build our template, right? So, or our website. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's just by tags and category, right? So if a user wants to have different sections or whatever, they can certainly do that based on how they categorize each of their videos. The only catch is the user is going to have to create each one of their videos in the same collection, right? In one collection, unless they want to get into crazy nested collections, which could possibly be a thing, but probably not, because that gets more complicated. All right, so right. How do we want to lay out these videos? I'm trying to think of a way that we can lay this out so it's different than this from the blog. I think maybe we can just have the videos themselves. Yeah, we just have the videos themselves, and you can even actually play them from this section. Right. Okay. I have an idea. Whether it's a good one or not, I don't know. I want to copy this kind of hero video thing. So let's copy this and let's paste it here. But you're going to come all the way down. Down here. Oh, okay. I also need to make this larger. Oh geez, you're outside of. Okay. So does this video section need a featured video? I don't know if I want that, to be honest. Because it'll be very similar to this. Because this video is an introductory video to, hey, welcome to this community. Great to have you a part of it. Here's what you get when you join, blah, 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 whatever that video is. Just kind of like a welcome video. Information from the blog, information from the podcast, and then these are just other videos. We could have one that, yeah, it's not as big as the main hero video. But still prominent enough. So let's try that. So this is just video section. And okay. Just video. What should we say? Just call it video series for now. I'm not sure what to call this. I'm just going to say featured video. Let's shrink this down considerably. What is it, 6:4? Is that the aspect ratio standard? I don't know what the standard YouTube aspect ratio is. I don't think I like this. I don't think I like this. Yeah, I don't like that. I think what we'll do is have it simple where, I mean, each video will have some kind of tag. And that's what this little yellow color is. And then you have the video itself. And I think we'll just do, I mean, just a 2-column layout, I guess. Actually, let's undo that. Let's keep it constraint. Then we have the second video. Oh. Oh, I didn't get the. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Where's this thing? Ah. So, video meta. Let's throw it in there. Yeah, something simple like that. But I think I'm even going to, well, no, we'll keep it at 2. I was thinking of putting it maybe a 3x3, but videos tend to get pretty squished. And I think we want to have a nice, good visual background image on the video for people to see. Although, except let's just make this a little bit bigger. Oh, these play buttons are hard to center. Anyways, I know there's a way I can center this easier. Let's try. I think it's just this, isn't it? Oh, that didn't quite align it. That doesn't look right at all. Huh. Okay. Featured video. Yeah, okay. So this is a tag. Just picture a tag in there on this video, or however it's tagged. Maybe a title. Maybe we throw in a title at the bottom. Actually, it should be 20. And oh, what are you doing? You're over here. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Something like that I think looks pretty good. And then one last call to action. Watch all videos. Why is this not centered? What happened? How did that happen? See, the text isn't centered. How did that happen? Oh, that's weird. Okay, don't ask questions. Just fix it. Okay, so that's our video series. And that's all we really want to showcase. I mean, those three things, and then like a big call to action section, right? So let's work on that call to action section. Home, let's make this a little bit, shit, that was not good. There we go, 5,000, not 500. Okay, oh, this doesn't look too bad. That's annoying. This takes me so much longer than just sketching it out on by hand. Ah, well, that's okay. We might need these Figma sketches for potential stuff in the future. Okay. Right, call to action section. I guess what we can do, let's make one the whole width of the screen. What is the width of the screen? 1440, not 1140. 1440. I don't know. 600. That's way too much. Maybe like 400. Maybe that's too little. Let's go here. 100 pixels from the top. Actually, yeah, that's too small. All right. And this is going to be our, oops, call to action. What do we need? What do we need for this call to action? I mean, obviously we need a button. And should we have two buttons or should we just have one? I think because this is a wireframe and we're just putting out and laying out the possibilities. Well, actually, we should get it right. I think in this call to action, I mean, you just want one thing. You don't want the user to be able to do multiple things, just one. So we'll have one button, which is just going to be a join now type button. Which will be whatever, you know, join now. Why isn't this button behaving like it's supposed to? It's not, did I do something with the constraints or something? Very strange. It's fixed. It's not supposed to be fixed. There we go. It's not, okay, I must have put it not to this hug thing. Okay. All right, and let's say this is a call to action, so the button's gonna need to be bigger. So we'll do that for now. And let's actually make this a different color. In fact, let's make it stick out a little bit, or quite a bit more. And let's make its actual, is this for the text color? Yeah, excellent. Add a little bit more blue into our gray here. There we go. Just looks nicer. Okay, and we're going to want to have a good call to action title. Ready to join, what did I call it? Member flow? I think that's what we called it, right? Yeah, member flow. maybe 32. I'll center everything later. Then we're going to throw in a couple lines of text. Call to action text. Let's make that just maybe a little bit smaller. And in everything in here, we just want to center everything. I wonder, this doesn't look centered at all. What are you getting centered to here? There we go. That looks much better. Ready to join member flow? Join. What were we missing here? I mean, there could be all kinds of different things you can put in here, content-wise. But what should be standard? I think this is it. The one thing you might want to have is some kind of like really small text underneath here. You know, like a terms or conditions or, you know, something, you know, no credit card required. I don't know, whatever. So let's put a little subtext. Get our spacing just about right. Good. Okay, then all of this, if I just group this, I should be able to hit this to align it in the middle, and I do. Good. This is call to action. That's just the content. And this here is the call to action. Oops. Background. Okay. Very simple. But to the point. I like it. Okay. Okay, what else do we need? What else do we need? The join button, and that's it. So all that's missing is a footer. For this one, probably want something really, really simple for this type of site. So, right. What kind of footer do we want to go with? I mean, if we can look at, we could look at our stuff. Let's look at footers. So we got 3 different styles here. And I think if we look at this footer, I think a footer like this would probably serve us the best for this membership site. Because you have your, whatever your membership is here, and then you have your little information about, you know, the community, any legal information, blah, 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 all here kind of on the left side. And then on the right side, you have the information to navigate the website. And then, of course, a nice subscribe form as well, which will be nice. So I like that. But I also, I'm liking the idea potentially of a very minimal footer with everything just nicely down the middle. That might work for this type of site too. For a very minimal-esque type membership site, community, really heavily focused on content. I want to see, I generally don't like doing this, but I'm going to try to, let's go on Ghost here, because a lot of these things are very similar in the sense that Ghost is, their themes are very heavily focused on content, right? Because it's all about people joining to become part of a group and just to access whatever content it is that that person is selling, right? Whether it's newsletters, podcasts, whatever the case may be. So let's see if we can take a look at their resources and just take a look at their themes and just see. Let's look at maybe, let's look at some of their paid stuff. Their themes have, some of them are expensive. So this one here is like much more newsy or oriented, and I think what we want to get away from this type of style. I actually used to love this type of style because I think it's so there's a lot going on here, which is really cool. So it's really obviously beneficial for like a news outlet, or if you do have different types of things that you want to talk about, you can definitely categorize them here. Like, breaking news. And think of this in terms of this was podcast stuff. You have different podcast things. Then here are different videos that you wanted to use, or different like tags in terms of the types of content you're producing. But this is way too much for a membership site. Way too much. And this is it's breaking this stuff by actual whatever category here or tag. I'm not sure exactly. It's probably a category. Very well done theme though, but way too much for what we want. So this one here is interesting. More photography website, recent work. Yeah, and these guys look at this. This is very simple here. So that fits this style very well. So that could work. Do we have anything? Can we search? We can't search. Podcast. Okay, let's see what they got for podcasts. 150. I remember this one. Okay, so they've decided to put the actual podcast link within this whole card here, and then you click on it, then you get into the actual podcast itself. And okay, for paid only, a little gated content there. Oh, but here's this footer. It's very simple. I'm gonna go with my gut. Well, I mean, and my gut and kind of what I think I'm looking for and what I want for this. And I'm gonna go with, actually, let's bring it back up here. I'm gonna go with what happened? So I went back and I went to members only. So that's not right. What happened here? Join to copy. So this footer. Okay, that stuck me back to members only. Hang on a second. We got to fix that. That's a bug. We got to fix that right now. But I need to get into Webflow. Hang on. I got a bunch of stuff I got to close down. Sorry. Bear with me for just a moment. Okay. Webflow. All right, sign out of this one. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so what was the issue? The issue was when you're perusing the footer here, and I'm not signed in, which is say join to copy. So this gets me to the sign up page. So this button here takes me to a place where I'm not logged in. Okay, so let's take a look at that. That's the breadcrumbs on the component page. No, not this page. It is, that's on the actual individual component, right? So in this footer page. Right, and this breadcrumb instance here. So let's take a look at this instance here. This instance, it's also what's going on here? Text component name. We're linking to the component category. So I think what we need to have, do we need to have two different links depending on whether you're logged in or whether you're logged out? Right, because I have this, see, I've done it here. So I have two different links here for a component button. This here takes you to components. So if you're not logged in, it takes you to product-components. This one needs to take us to product-components or /footer. Well, which we don't have. We actually don't have that. There is no. There is nothing like that. We don't have that page. Interesting. Okay, so we don't have that page if you're not logged in. So where do we redirect a user to? I know. I think I have an idea. So if you're not logged in and you go to this page, I think we need to not show this link here and just show home, component, and then footer basic. That makes the most sense because there is no, because when you're logged in, I think maybe we can show, I can show this so I can make sure it's straight in my mind. So let's log in here for a second. And why is this not kicking me to the dashboard? I gotta fix that. It's another bug. If I'm on here on the footer, yeah, so this is component/footer. This highlights all the footer pages. We don't have this when we're not logged in. Okay, so what we're gonna do, data, that's if you're not a member. You're gonna showcase this one. Product/components, right. And so this one, we're gonna do the same thing. If you're not a member, or members, I think is what it is. Yep. And then same custom attribute. Members. Right. So let's publish this. Ooh, 6 issues to improve. Six doesn't like that if I don't publish there, of course. Let's keep that there for now, and then let's fix that. I'll have to fix that later. Okay. So let's refresh that again. So if we go to checkout, we want the basic footer. Oh, it's not showing up here. So I got it the opposite. Because if I go here, yeah, still here. I had it the opposite. Ah. Yeah, because it's for members only. Exactly. I'm an idiot. Exactly as if I'm talking. I'm sorry. I'm having this internal conversation with myself. Okay. There we go. Sorry for this little detour, but to find a bug, you got to fix it. Okay, so that's there. And the logged in version, because we're logged in, we could actually copy the component. Perfect. And if we go to this place where this person's not logged in, and oops, and perfect, just kicks them right back to the components. And then if we go to this component here, the hero section, you want to copy it, you got to join, etc., etc. Okay, perfect. So that's working. So back to this. This is what we want. So let's recreate this, or our version of it for this wireframe, the footer. Okay, do we have a logo? We do have a logo. I mean, it's not really a logo, it's just this, but let's copy it anyways. Let's paste it. Put it down here, and let's just, no, not find. Control G. And footer. No. There's probably an easier way to do that, but oh, okay. All right. So can I align this with something? Probably would like to somewhere. Actually, oh, I could probably tell where it is. Over here. Where is this? 140. Okay, so there we go. X 140. Okay. So member flow, and then we are going to have again a little bit of text to just describe what we are. Yes, you can just Control C and then go to the spot where you'd like to have your element, and then Control V to paste instead of dragging it. Also in the element. Oh, okay. Okay, so well, that's cool. Well, I didn't have an element, I guess, at the time, so I guess I would have to create something or create that element. Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, so draggy, especially dragging it over 4,000 pixels. Yeah. Yeah, this is to say, yeah, this Figma, I think, what, a few months ago, 3, 4, oh, geez, maybe 5 months ago now. I don't know when it was when I first started using Figma, when I was doing something in here. I think it was when I was designing the initial layout. We were designing pixel pieces, actually. That was my first real time actually using Figma. And then I did that for a few days, and then we finished our design in pixel pieces, and then that was it. I never really touched it again. So I'm definitely a noob when it comes to Figma. So bear with the... this is definitely no tutorials on how to use Figma. Let's just put it that way. Find someone else to give you a nice Figma tutorial. Or you could watch me and be like, this is what not to do. All right. You know, this is the creed of the website. Oh, I think Andrea's home, which is good. yeah, my wife just stepped out to pick up my daughter's retainer, second version of a retainer, because she just got her braces out after almost 3 years. Oh man, what a trooper! I can't imagine having braces for 3 years. That's crazy. And she got them out off just before Christmas, actually. So she was happy about that. But yeah, you have to wear a retainer for like the rest of your life. Oh man, I don't know if I can handle that. Do I build clients websites for clients as well? Yes, I do. Absolutely do. In fact, that's basically right now. Anyways, that's the primary. It was the only way I make money right now because I just obviously launched Pixel Pieces, but it's really just in the, hey, join Pixel Pieces right now. It's free, and please try it out, demo it, and help me out. And until I finally, start charging for it once it's ready. But that being said, yeah, so in 2022, in September 2022, or even a little bit before that, I quit my job at Dalhousie University here in Halifax, Canada. And I was working as a creative services manager and a data manager, and working a lot on web stuff there as well too. And I've done web stuff all throughout my whole career, basically. So yeah, anyways, I quit. And I was like, that's it, time to work for myself. And I started my web design agency called Pixel Media. And yeah, so I just have clients and I just build websites for them. And so the question is specifically, what did I use to wireframe high fidelity? So I would actually, whether I recommend this or not, probably not, but I guess it depends on who you are. So basically what I would do is, I still, my process is always, figuring out what the hell the client wants and getting the requirements and all that kind of stuff. And then I would draw it out. And then usually in those high quality illustrations, I would scan them and I would put them in Vision app, which they just got bought out. So I think they're not going to be around for much longer. And I would just have mock-ups, not mock-ups, but yeah, I guess interactive mock-ups based on my illustrations where they can click through to see kind of how the website would flow. So that would kind of be my flow. And once they were happy with how things would flow in terms of the actual pages, the navigation, all that kind of stuff, then I would actually, again, skip the wireframe and just go into actually designing in Webflow. So, I mean, before it used to be in whatever tool I was using, but for the past, 2-3 years, it's been Webflow. So I'll just say Webflow for now. So I'd actually make it in Webflow. And then when they were with the pencil sketches, were pretty much kind of, the layout was already set in stone. So then it was just really figuring out the design aspects in terms of the color, typography, and the white spacing and all that kind of stuff, and the interactions and blah, 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 all that jazz. But they were usually pretty happy with that. And then they would just be kind of minor changes within that. And then I could actually give them a site that they could actually go and review and provide their feedback on, as opposed to just continually providing feedback on just pictures of a site, as opposed to something that they can interact with. So yeah, that's kind of how my flow was and how my flow still is with clients that I work with today. But yeah, over time, I mean, my goal is to get out of the client work and the client business and move into the product business, which is why I want to create this Pixel Pieces, which is, the Webflow template and component repository. So yeah. But I could be different because I've always done everything throughout my whole career all by myself. The design, the development, everything. It's always been a one-person shop. And so I know the process from talking to clients, landing deals, all that kind of stuff, all the way to training, launching, handoffs, all that stuff. Everything, I've handled everything. So I know the whole process. So that's why I think for me, I skip steps, because I don't need to create something in order to hand it off to a developer to build, right? And then I have to make sure that the pixels are all perfect or whatever, so that they know what it is that they need to do to build things out. So it's in my head. So I skip things, I guess you would say, traditionally, that people would create to hand things off. When you're going from sales to design to development to customer service, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's a long-winded answer to that question. But my client work right now is what allows me to be able to do this full time in terms of trying to build this company. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about stuff. Obviously, I love talking, so maybe sometimes too much, but yeah, happy to answer any questions. I think that's how people can learn from other people. I mean, it's people like that have come even before me, and the people that I learn from is the fact that they put their stuff and their knowledge out there for people and their experiences, good or bad or whatever the case may be. And you can kind of learn from that, and you can, I don't know. It helps everybody grow and helps elevate everybody, right? So that's kind of my philosophy on things. Happy to talk anything and everything about my business and how it's working and how it's not working and all the ups and downs and all that kind of stuff. That's the whole point of this. This channel really is to share all the ups and downs. Hopefully more ups than downs as we move on into the future here. We're pretty good. As I said, as I started in 2022 with only like 6 months of savings, and it's like, oh shit, now I have to go get a job. And so far that's been, almost, well, it'll be 2 years, I guess, in August of this year. So it's a year and 4 months it's been. And the first year we made like 97 grand, so just under 100,000, under 6 figures, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, so no complaints. It's going pretty well so far. So I'm happy. But I'm still very nervous because my income right now is still dependent on clients, right? If I don't have any clients, then I'm out of luck. So make that transition, create products. You can just keep making the product once and keep reselling it. Then I think that's the way to go. And so that's going to mean a lot of marketing, which we talked about in the new year, where I got to make a bunch of YouTube videos. Yeah, that's coming. I'm working on that behind the scenes here. I'm not live streaming the process of creating these videos. Maybe I'll do that at some point. I'm sure I will actually at some point, because that's interesting too. Okay. All right. Footer. We got to do this footer. What am I thinking? I'm just randomly clicking things while talking. Okay. Member flow. Let's go back and look at this. Right. There's terms of service. Okay. A few different navigational kind of things. This is, whoops. We're going to call this, what are we going to call this? I can call it like legal links or something stupid like that. And we're going to go through 12, something pretty small. Maybe even smaller. Copy, paste. Copy, paste again. There you go. Something like that. And maybe a little copyright thing. We could do a little tiny circle. And what is this? This is 18. And we'll just copy this one last time. You're all the way up there. I hate when that happens. And 60. All right. Something small like that. Oh, that looks stupid. I'll fix that. So where did I mainly get my clients from when I first started out? Friends, family, and cold outreach. So it's an interesting question. And I have to say, the first question I would ask from you with that is when did you mean when I started out? Because I've been doing on and off freelance and starting my own company in terms of doing this web work for since 2005. So it's been a long time. But the most recent one, when I finally quit my job and like, that's it, this time I need to make this work because I really want to have my own business and my own company. And like really trying to make this thing work. And of course I have a family, I got 2 kids, and if my wife stays at home and she homeschools the kids and all that kind of stuff. So if I don't have any money, then like we're screwed. So at that point, I have been working as like a web designer, developer, whatever the hell you want to call it, for again like 15 years, whatever, even longer, since like I said 2005. So I have a network of people that, yes, they do know me, and they know me as a guy that does web design or whatever, what have you. So as soon as I quit my job, people that I was working for in and around my area, even around the university, kind of came with me in the sense that like, oh, you're doing that, so I want to hire you to work on these things for me. So a lot of a majority, I would say a very large majority of the work that I initially got was from my direct connections from my work network. So what I always tell people is having people that know who you are and know what it is that you do, and know you for that specific thing, is really invaluable, because you can always lean on them to get work and to try to get work. In terms of friends and family, I haven't had any work yet from friends and family since I started this new thing. It's really just been through my network. And I've done zero marketing right here. No cold outreach. I've done basically nothing because I've just been so busy with just the clients that I already have right now that I'm just too busy to even worry about that stuff right now, because I almost don't want to take on any new clients, because then that'll take me away from the stuff that I need to do. But initially, when I was first starting out, it was definitely around my own social network, where people at work with and people at school saw that I was learning how to do this kind of stuff. And then I would get people saying like, oh yeah, well, my friend also wants a website, and I know that you can do that. Do you want to, I'll connect you with them. And then I'll be like, I'll talk with them. Like, I'll make them a website. It's $500 or a couple $100, like these really cheap, like shitty websites. And that's kind of how it went for most of my kind of freelance career. It's just word of mouth, people that knew me, and they get in touch, and then I just build something. So yeah, that's a big thing. And I've never done cold outreach. Not to say that it's not good, because I think it's very beneficial, and I probably should be doing it. But it's just I've never done that, because again, over the span of my whole career, just people just know me as the guy that just does websites. That's like all he does. So yeah. Okay, so we have this side here. So let's make this thing, I'm just gonna go a little bit smaller. No, it's too small. There we go. You two, can you guys align against each other? There we go. There. I like that. So we're just going to put this as copyright. But a lot of things you hear people say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think that's pretty important. Having a good network of people, I mean, it's key. It's helped me a lot, even in my just getting regular jobs. So I remember, I did my undergrad at the University of Waterloo, and then I ended up in this group of people that I would play hockey with, and I ended up somehow in this group of playing hockey with a bunch of different professors at the university, which was awesome, because as an undergrad, I get to talk to all these different professors, and when you're in the locker room with a bunch of people, you get to see them outside of work or what have you. And then it had me a chance to just kind of talk and get to know to some of these professors, and some of them I actually had in some of my classes. And then I would just kind of talk to them about my interest in things that I was looking to do, and like kind of maybe work that I was trying to get. And then it so happened to be that one of the professors that I was talking with, after, a couple months that went by, they reached out to me and were like, hey, I'm actually hiring somebody as like a lab manager and I need a lab manager. And they just hooked me up with that job just from knowing them. And I had to go through a small interview process, but it was just almost like, hey, do you want this job? And it was all just through networking. So and who you know. So it's making those types of connections, those personal connections, is what I think really can set you apart. So because yeah, cold outreach, of course, it's good, but then it's especially if you're not comfortable doing that kind of stuff, making genuine connections with people is really, really helpful. And I've had lots of jobs where out of the blue, someone would contact me and be like, hey, here's this opening for a job. Like, are you interested? And it just so happened to be that I was interested. And it was this job that paid like $70K a year. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. That sounds pretty good. So, yeah. So yeah, it's good to know people. And what is it, like 80%, or I'm just throwing a number completely out of my ass here, but there's a high percentage of jobs that never get to the market, that they're never posted or whatever, because people just know somebody. Think of a job that you're working. It's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, we're trying to hire this for this person. It's like, oh, I know this person, whatever. Maybe they'd be a good fit. And then they just hire that person. They don't even do a whole job search thing, which is also expensive and time consuming for a company. So if you get a good recommendation or referral, that's worth quite a bit. Anyways, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this productized service concept? Are you implementing any sort of retainers or adding principles of that business model to your agency? You let me work now. Don't worry about that. It's all good. Yeah, it's a more predictable revenue on a monthly, quarterly basis. Yeah. I actually really do like it. And so I don't know if you've seen this. So I guess I'll do this. And sorry, I don't want to seem like I'm pushing my own stuff here because I don't want to do that. But I'll just kind of show you what I have. So this is my agency website right here. So it's pixel.ca. And so I've absolutely have productized my service in that people pay me, like my clients now, they pay me a monthly fee for providing services to build and manage their Webflow websites. So I have it right here. I have these plans as it is right now. And there's 3 different plans. So it's basically how big of a site you want, what kind of features and functionality you want, depends on how much it's going to cost you per month to work with me. And so my sales pitch is when I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I'm changing this right now. And I'm trying to figure out exactly how this is going to work because I have yet to even promote this, is how can I create these plans and these products that make sense for the people that I want to target? And what do I want to do? So like right now, I have one enterprise client and I have 3 other clients that aren't quite on the startup, but they're on just kind of friend and family kind of pricing because I know them. So it's a lot cheaper than this. But I'm making just under $3,000 a month recurring revenue from clients that engage in my service on a month-to-month basis. So it's much better, I find, than trying to get a client, doing a website, and then leaving them to it. Because I found that pretty much every website that I've ever done like that, within like a year or 2 or 3, like that website is gone. They went with something else or whatever, or they didn't know how to manage it properly, or whatever the case may be. So with this model, I like it a lot better because it's like, forget about hiring somebody to do this on your own or figuring out how to do it on your own. Hire me, and then I will be right there with you as this team member that you have access to like 24/7. So imagine having your own professional design and development team with you, but at the fraction of the cost. Like, why hire somebody else? And you've probably seen a lot of companies doing this kind of stuff before out there. So that's where I'm at right now. Because yeah, it does has more predictable revenue, which is a really big thing. But I also want to do good service for my customers and do right by them. And I'm not sure, like these models right now, that's what I had when I first started. And I think they're going to change, but I'm not sure exactly how they're going to change. Because I probably want to throw in some search engine optimization here. I'm not sure yet exactly how it's going to go. But yeah, so your concern here is, do companies see the benefit of paying $1,000 a month or so on a website that maybe once or twice a month? So yeah, no, you're not missing anything, but I think you have to think about what kind of client you want, right? So the enterprise client that I have um, is more than happy to pay this, and they're getting immense value. So whenever they have anything new that they have going on in their organization, they're calling me up. Like we have my own Asana and whatever we use. That's how we use to communicate. Like you could use Trello or whatever the case may be. Um, in terms of the hourly rate, like sometimes I'll have to do like 60 hours of work in a month. Other times it'll be 10 hours. So it kind of varies on how much work that they have, but they call me anytime, day or night, and I work with them to get whatever it is that they need done, whether that's some kind of new development kind of functionality they want or just updating content. So it really depends on the company, and it depends on the type of client that you want, right? So think about a very large company that has a large website and a presence and are doing multiple different things, right? It doesn't even have to be just for the website. Maybe you're just specifically doing search engine optimization for them, or maybe you're just doing a specific type of marketing. So you have to think of your niche and think about what kind of services you want to offer, and that could add on to the package. But yeah, for a simple mom and pop shop that just wants a website, none of this is going to make any sense for them because there's nothing to update, right? They don't have anything that they're working on. So those aren't the type of clients that I want to get. They asked me too, like, hey, can you build a website? And then you tell them some stupid, ridiculous, at least for me, a really small price, like, oh, it's going to be like 3,000. They're like, 3,000? That's like insane. It's like, well, then go work for somebody else, right? Or go figure out how to do it yourself, spend 100 hours trying to figure it out or whatever. So for those types of clients, that's why I want to develop these templates, because it's like, hey, just buy this template and you can have your website. So yeah, I get your concern about it's too expensive. But again, try to think about the type of client and think about a company that you would want to work for, like your dream client, and how much they'd be willing to spend on being able to have this services offered for them. And for me, like even 2,500 is pretty low for this type of service. If you think about them hiring somebody at $10,000 a month to just be their web guy, So anyways, yeah, so loads of people have been shifting. Yeah, I think it's working for some people and not for others, but I think it does depend on, I think it depends on your level of skill as well too. So would I recommend this type of model for somebody who is just starting out and hasn't really built a lot of stuff for people and doesn't really know how to manage projects? Probably not. It might not be the best thing. I would say, try to build out that portfolio, try to get clients. Again, getting a client to pay $5,000 for a one-time thing for a website is a lot easier pill to swallow for, hey, $1,000 a month for forever, right? So, yeah, it's tough to say because I think it's a value-based proposition, and you have to provide the value for the client. Because I'm always of the mindset, you're never trying to just fleece your customer for as much money as you possibly can get. You want to provide them with a fair value of exchange. And so what I like to think about it is, a simple case could be like an e-commerce website. Hang on one sec. So if somebody who's running an e-commerce shop comes to me, and I was kind of been talking to somebody around this, so it's kind of a good time to talk about it. And they're doing, $20,000 in revenue every single month. And they come to me and they say, hey, we want to revamp our e-commerce, or we want to even start a new e-commerce store because maybe they have a brick and mortar store. And we want to generate more sales and blah, 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 whatever it is. And if I come up to them and say, okay, well, listen, I'd love to work with you, and it's going to take, a bit of time to, we release the new e-commerce store, but I want to do some search engine marketing or whatever to make your site, get more and more traction or what have you. But if I could increase your revenue by $10,000 a month, what would that be worth to you? And if the client comes back to, well, that would be worth, 30% or something like that. So like, okay, so then for $3,000 a month, does it make sense for us to move forward working on this project? Maybe sign a year contract or whatever the case may be, right? So then you're getting value. So for every $3,000 they spend, they're going to make $10,000. So it's almost like a no-brainer for them. So, and then to charge $3,000, maybe it'll only take you an hour to do that search engine stuff. Like, I don't know, right? So, but you're still getting fair value. So it's got to be a good value exchange for both sides. So it has to make sense that way, So, if you make a company $1 million, and it takes you 2 hours to do something, I don't think it's appropriate for you to charge $200 an hour. I think it's appropriate for you to charge 10% of the revenue that you help them generate. So $100,000. So that's just how I kind of try to see things in terms of pricing. But it's an interesting topic, and it's something that I'm going to be diving into quite a bit here because I haven't launched Pixel Pieces in terms of what my pricing is going to be, and I'm trying to still figure out what's going on for Pixel Media with this company right here. So good time to talk about it. So stay tuned, and I'll be talking a whole lot more about that as I try to figure out what makes the most sense for me as well too. So you appreciate it? Yeah, no problem at all. Take everything I say too, with a grain of salt. Because I've always said too on this stream is I don't know what it's like to build $1 million company yet. But that's what I'm trying to work towards. And I'm just trying to share my insights on what I think is going to work. And then at least I can share on things that have worked for me in the past, which is kind of what I'm talking about right now. But yeah, with the idea of anything that I talk about moving beyond, say, an agency that can make $100,000, because that's what I made last year. So I could talk about that, but $1 million, I'm still way, way far out there. But maybe in 2 years' time, once we bridge that $1 million gap, then we can talk a little bit more about that. Local businesses are kind of a no-go for me as well. It's you could be surprised that some local businesses maybe pulling in more revenue than you might think, but yeah, if you're doing things online and through the internet, I mean, there's no limit. You're not constrained by any geographical area of where you might want to work. So yeah, you can definitely target companies from all over the world. All right. But yeah, 100% agreed. Good mindset when clients understand the value that you can provide for them. And that's where I'm definitely not a very good salesperson at all. But when you're on that initial sales call with a client, if you can ask them the right questions and get them thinking in the mindset of, hey, we're not here to try to haggle over the dollar amount. We're here to form a relationship that is going to benefit both of us, where my goal is to maximize how much money I can make you by doing whatever project and problem it is that we're going to try to solve, and then feel that returning fair compensation for that value is just a win-win for both of us, right? So 100%, yeah. They definitely need to understand the value. And then when they do understand it, then the issue of payment is super easy. It's not an awkward thing because it's like, yeah, of course it's worth 20% of whatever revenue you help us generate. It's no problem. So another question, how would you implement a productized service for something like graphic design, since it doesn't really impact an increase in revenue directly, unless you write the copy as well? So are you talking basically like taking something that Design Joy does and like how Design Joy, because they productize design as well, right? Where it's, I think when you go on to Design Joy, you sign up for, you sign up for like month to month, and then you just get unlimited design requests, and you do one request at a time, and it costs like $5,000 a month, I think. So how would I implement a service like that? I would literally copy what Design Joy does. Not like their website or anything like that, but I would copy their business model. And it depends on what skill level you're at. But if you want to try to do that, say like, hey, listen, if you sign up to my, like, what's your level of skill? If you don't mind me asking, like, are you just new at this, or have you doing this for a long time, or what have you? So like if you're just starting out, and if you just say, hey, come to whatever your website is, come to Brent's amazing design, and you want to offer a productized service. Say like I do logo design. I wouldn't even do logo design. Yeah, whatever designs that you want to do. Maybe you want to do logo design. I don't know. Because logo design, that's a whole nother ballgame too, where I think people severely undervalue how much time that stuff takes and how much money that should be worth. But say all the different things that you want to do, you just outline it on your website and say that's going to cost $2,000 a month or whatever the case may be. And then put your parameters on how you're going to work with your clients and how many different things they can ask for you at a time and how long it's going to take for you to put it back. And then, yeah, put it out there. Yeah. So I think that's the thing. That's where it would be. How much does it cost to hire a graphic designer? And this will be a lot cheaper for you to have someone. It's like to have someone in-house, but then they're not in-house because you're your own studio and you just interact with them. So it's cheaper for them, and then it's cheaper for you. They don't have to have health insurance and all those other things that are part of it. But the thing too with graphic design though, I'm a little bit hesitant in that, unless you're really good and you could do work really, really fast. Then I feel like it might not be worth it in terms of your time versus how much, like what your output is going to be. Because if you have a client that rides you constantly, you're going to find that you're going to be working on their stuff all the time. And that's really annoying because you don't want to end up at a point where your price point gets to be so low that you're working for $10 an hour or whatever. Because you have to think of when you're doing a business, like if you're making $100 an hour, that means your business needs to, or like if you want to make $100 an hour personally, then your business needs to bring in like at least twice that in order to pay for expenses and all that kind of stuff too, right? So you have to put on your business hat as well too, and not just your personal hat of how much money I want to make and $50 an hour, there we go, it's done. It's like there's so many more things that go into running a business, right? Anyways, and then there's also a thing too with design. It's very hard to quantify design. But yeah. So you have this idea for email design, which e-commerce emails agencies need for their clients. So their marketing is more on brand, but instead of blank copies that's sent out. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. So that's almost like you help them manage like the whole campaigns and their MailChimp and all that kind of stuff. That would be kind of cool. So it's almost as if you could create some type of agency, like a marketing agency that, depending on the different price points, you have different services related to marketing. So one of them could be email design, like designing emails, but you can also throw in like managing their whole campaigns and everything like that as well too, because people do have problems with that. Everywhere I've gone to, every company, like I've been using MailChimp for a long, long time, and they think they're not set up correctly. They don't even have the tags identified correctly. They don't do anything other than the straight basic stuff. They don't even know about A/B testing. So that's a good idea. You can run with that. I don't know how much you can charge for that. What would be kind of the limit, but I mean, that's what you can find out. And again, it could be a thing too, where, especially if it's for, like you're saying, e-commerce emails. So it's like, hey, how much revenue are you generating every time you make a campaign? And then if you could say like, okay, well, how about I increase your revenue by 20%? And then I get a certain percentage of that. So that could be a way to go about it. So that's interesting. But you're saying my email designs may not involve an increasing revenue. Maybe. They might, especially if, like you said, you're working with e-commerce brands. But if not, yeah, then that's a little bit of a challenge, I think, in figuring out how you price that. But it could be a price for like how big their list is as well too. So you have someone paying you $1,000 a month for that right now, deliver within 24. So are you paying for, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. Congrats, by the way. So are they paying you for like designing and sending out the whole campaigns, or just like designing the emails and then that's that? But that's pretty good. Yeah. So I was thinking to just deliver the email design since I see quite some e-commerce email marketing agencies struggle. So it's a very interesting niche, and I don't know much about it, so I could be out of my element here. Because I would think that an e-commerce marketing agency would know a thing or two about setting up emails. Maybe it's just the brand. Oh, because they need to brand it with the clients that they're coming on board. Okay, I see. Ah, right. And they pay you $1,000 a month to just come up with a design for an email that they want to send out. That's not bad. Sounds like some pretty good work. Oh, that's nice that you don't even have to worry about the copy and all that kind of stuff. So that sounds really great. So they're paying you $1,000 a month. How many emails do you have to make for them? Or I should even say, have you tracked any of your time to see how much time that actually takes you to make one email? And then how many do they ask you per month? And just to get an idea of what your kind of hourly rate is, and then you can get an idea for how scalable this system could be with just you. And I wonder if there's other services that you can add to your offerings to make it, to up the value for them. I don't know. And when you're designing the emails, are you actually designing them like by hand with using like tables and HTML? Or are you designing them in like MailChimp or Constant Contact or something like that? Or do you like actually get into their account and then you go in and just create the emails and they give you all the assets? Anyways, that's fascinating. That sounds like a good, a really good gig there. Depends on each month. Okay. Depends on if they onboard new clients, you create templates for that client and use that template for all their emails. So they must be doing some good business then, which is good because then it keeps you getting some good business. So they keep having new clients or whatever that you need to onboard. So you design, so then they don't, you literally just give them an actual like image design then, right? So you're just giving them a mock-up and then they're taking that mock-up and putting it into code or whatever it is into their system then, if I'm understanding you correctly. And if that's the case, I would wonder then if you could move beyond just offering the design templates and actually help them. Well, see, they might not want that because they're their own marketing agency, so they want agency over their own list or whatever. But if you can find a way to bridge the gap and maybe offer that as a part of your service, that might be an interesting way to go, where you're doing both the design and also the execution of the emails. Interesting. So the one you're working on with ads, probably like saying which ads, extra 50K in revenue. Right. Okay. So you're saying, so you're almost like a third party, right? So this e-commerce site that has hired you, they're working with another brand, and those emails that they're sending out to that on behalf of that company is helping them generate an extra $50,000 in revenue a month, is what I'm hearing. And if that's the case, obviously that's really good for the marketing customer. So you'd have to think about the client that you're working with right now, how much they could potentially be charging them in order to do that service for them, which is crazy. But they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting because they're doing the writing and all the content production, all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's another area. This whole e-commerce marketing and email marketing and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole new world for me. which is really, really fascinating. Other than, I mean, I know how to create emails and design emails and all that kind of stuff, but that whole business marketing aspect of stuff is really fascinating to me. You're the third party to, yeah, they handle the rest. Yep. I mean, it seems to me to get to the more lucrative side of this equation is to how can you get yourself to be in the position where you can add on more of those services of that e-commerce thing and the newsletters. So, it's like I could do the designs, but then I could also do the HTML and the monitoring and the A/B testing and all that kind of stuff. And then instead of charging $1,000, maybe you can charge $2,500 a month or whatever, taking more off of the plate of this e-commerce brand, which will allow them to in turn get more customers or more clients. So I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Again, I don't know too much about that, but it sounds like you're on the right track in terms of figuring out a really, really good model to make a sustainable business. Really, really cool. Okay, so all right, we gotta finish this today. We gotta get to the shoot. I think I only have 9 minutes. I think I definitely have to leave at 4 o'clock today. So one last thing on the footer. What are we doing here? So this is, we're just going to call this company info. And then we're going to get to the other side here. You are more than welcome. Again, I'm happy to talk about this night and day because I love business. Absolutely love it. And no apologies. Not holding me back at all. This is what I'm here for. So I love this. So when I was first starting out this live stream, for the first few months, for 6 months maybe, I don't know. More often than not, it was just me live streaming by myself. So it's nice to have somebody to talk to. So I'm grateful and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So no, it's thanks to you. No thanks to me. I'm just here. All right. So we we want social media links and a subscribe form. Right. So let's do that. We can do that pretty easily. I'll just call this links. And let's just copy and paste this. And we'll put this in another group. What's this group going to be? Company info? Let's call it social, I guess. Okay, you're going on this side. 1, 2, 3. Let's copy all 3 of those. Oh. Okay. Line that up here, I guess. That's not so bad. Rolando, how you doing? Welcome. Why would you need social media links or be needed in a subscription form? No, they don't. They don't at all. I'm just trying to go really fast here so I can meet my 4 o'clock deadline and just putting things in really bad naming structures. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I need to do better at naming these things. So basically I'm just taking this structure right here is what I want. So I just like, what do I call this side of this footer section that has links to the website and a subscribe form, and it has social media links? I'm not sure exactly what to call this whole block of code. So let's just call it, we'll go footer nav, subscribe, and social. all rolled up into one. Okay. So those are the links. We need to, I did something wrong there. So those are links. Now we need to make, let's just make a subscribe form. I don't know why I'm trying to get pixel perfect by dragging. Let's try this instead. And dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Let's get this button. And I'm just going to call this subscribe. 16. Actually, I wonder if I can, yeah, I can do this. Can I force it to the right size? Eugh. Actually, I'm going to make that much wider. Well, not much wider, but just a little bit wider. That rectangle went all the way up there. And put this in. Subscribe. Oh my goodness, spell. Subscribe form. I think we can probably want to have. Actually, we'll actually use text on this one. We'll just say subscribe. Something like that. And let's make this maybe 18. Left align. And yeah, medium. That looks good. And then at the bottom here, we'll just have social media links. We're going to put that social media links. And give it a standard fill here. Social media icon. Let's just. Actually, can I think I can. Something like this. This guy. Move here. You over here. And maybe one more. I should look into learning auto layout in Figma when you have some free time. No brainer, and will save you loads of time for future. Probably. Yeah, auto layout. Is that like a, yeah, I think Kevin was telling me about this as well too. And I think I maybe had it in my head before, but now it's totally gone. So yeah, because there has to be easier ways of doing these things, which I know you guys are slamming your heads on the keyboard watching me just stumble my way through it or brute force my way. I'm not sure exactly what the terminology is, but it's not good. It's not pretty. But yes, so did I put that on screen? Yeah, I will. Yeah, when I have time, right? Maybe during the 24-hour live stream. So Control A. So Control A puts everything in like a layout. So if I Control A, like I can't Control A, auto layout. So that becomes in a frame. And then, I could do the spacing. So that's the spacing within there. Can I change the spacing in between? Oh, and I can with this. That's cool. Yeah, I like me like a lot. Yeah, got it. So let's call this social media links. So you can do auto layout for everything. I thought it was, for whatever reason, I was like, oh, just text. But you can do it for everything. This is awesome. Look at this. Yeah, perfect. It's just all that I wanted. And then I could snap things super nicely, and it has the right margins. You guys are the best. Awesome. Thank you. Shift A versus Control A? Or do you mean, like, what does Shift A do? Ooh, that's wrapping in something. Shift A, that rectangle box is for alignment. Rectangle box. Rectangle box. I'm not sure which one you mean here. What just happened? I feel like I did something. Oh, just moving it around. Excellent. Is there a thing that shows the shortcut keys? Help. Keyboard shortcuts. All right. Tools. Shape. Selection. Yeah, I need to take a look at this. Yeah, I should do like a whole tutorial on this. Yeah, hard to explain. Yeah. I do appreciate it. I'll manage. I'll figure it out. But I do appreciate those little nuggets of, press Control A here, do this, here, that. That's helpful. All right. Okay. Another no-brainer shortcut. Control-Alt-C to copy the layer, and then Control-Alt-V to paste the layer style. Oh, the layer styles. Oh, so you get, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so it gets everything too. That's cool. Control-Alt-key, yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, to copy, exactly whatever style is associated with whatever the layer is. Awesome. I'll try to file that one away. But if I don't use it within the next 10 minutes, I don't know. Am I going to forget it? Could very well be. Okay. So home here. Let's, I don't know, shorten this out just a little bit. Okay. So here is a very general outline or wireframe here of MemberFlow. Again, this is a template that is specifically built for somebody that is going to create content that is for members only. And the content is written content, audio content in the form of a podcast or what have you, and video content as well. So you join, you log in or whatever, you hit the homepage, you have a big video showcasing, hey, this is MemberFlow, blah, blah, blah. Here's some stuff you can read from the blog. Here's some stuff you can look at from the podcast. Maybe some of the stuff is gated or not. We can figure that out when we actually build the actual site. And here's some stuff for the video series, the 3 different things we were talking about, and then a call to action, and then the footer. That's the website. Okay. That'll work. That'll work. Yeah, the brute force. Yeah, if all else fails, just keep pounding it in there, and one of these days it'll stick. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, okay. So I think I don't know. It's not bad. I think this is a decent framework. Again, it's weird saying this in terms of me building websites for 15 years or whatever, but never really doing wireframes like this, at least in terms of in software, because it's always been in pencil and paper. But I think this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. If there's anything that I need to do or that I should do to improve it, it's not done by all means. This is just the home page. But if there's anything that I should do or that you think that these wireframes are missing, like obviously there's no flow diagrams or anything like that. This is just kind of content layout and blocking things away. So yeah, I think that's good. 4:05. Okay, so that's not too bad. So it's been 2.5 hours. Oh my goodness, the time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it here for today. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna try to keep plugging away on the internal pages here to see if I can get further along before tomorrow. So you don't see me stumbling too much in Figma tomorrow, because I would really like to move into Webflow here sooner rather than later. Just because I like it so much better. So much better than doing this. That's okay. So yeah, that's what I'll try to do for the next 24 hours. And then we'll reconvene here tomorrow, as always, for another live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the conversation. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the day. Hopefully you get some sunshine or whatever, wherever you are. And yeah, you're more than welcome. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow.